Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Show. Excited to talk about fishing this morning, answer questions, hear your fishing reports, and just have a good time talking fishing. We've got Captain Travis Thompson in studio with us this morning, talking all about everything. Literally any question you have, Travis can answer it. He's who I call when I have questions. And he's in studio hanging out this morning. No Captain Mike, unfortunately. You're stuck with Travis and I, but we're excited. It is a beautiful Saturday morning. We've got great weather ahead. We're coming up on a full moon. We're on the backside of a big, big low-pressure Hurricane Francine. Still dropping some gifts off this morning. Scattered showers around due to the tail of that hurricane that's cleared the Gulf. And with that building full moon coming up, we should see some stronger tides, more tidal flow, and a pretty good inshore outgoing tide bite generally on that full moon. So exciting weekend. Should be some pretty hot fishing into through the weekend and into the early work week. Then we've got the backside of the full moon through the rest of the work week. Should be a pretty good week to get out there on the water. Of course, as gag grouper season comes to an end, weather looks spectacular. It's ironic.
You left out one hugely important thing, Dylan.
Early teal season.
This is
starting.
the next Saturday.
Yes.
There's no chance I will be anywhere near this place because I'm going to be sitting somewhere that's wet.
Yes.
Hopefully shooting at ducks.
Wet
I mean,
and
not at this
soggy.
time, but in about a week exactly from like 20 minutes from now.
But who's counting?
But who's counting?
Yeah, and early teal season is what, like 9 days, right?
It's only 9 days. It's from a Saturday to the following Sunday. So it's 9 days long. And it's hot. It's muggy. It's buggy. When people call me to try to book it, I try to talk them out of it so that they're fully prepared for what they're about to get into. But dude, when it's right, it's just like, and it's like, you do seasons.
Normal duck season is like starts in November.
Starts Thanksgiving, the weekend before Thanksgiving.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes are gone.
It's a little bit
still
cooler.
really
Yeah.
wet,
Yes.
but a lot less buggy.
You deal with seasons more. Like inshore guys, we don't pay attention to seasons. Like maybe if you keep a snook or you
I'm still stuck on sitting in a wet, flooded out cattle field this time of year. That sounds terrible.
No, dude, it's awesome. There's just something about it. You watch everything.
I love
wake
duck
up,
hunting. The idea of it. I love shotguns. I love
it's awesome.
It sounds awesome, but I don't know about this time.
Duck hunting is super social. Like it's like fishing. Like you sit
Yeah.
out there, you can talk. You don't have to be quiet. It's not like some technical, bonefish pulling around type deal. It's like you're visiting, hanging out, and then ducks come along. You shoot at them, and then they move on down the road, and you eat a snack and go back to the camp area, and we cook some sausage and stuff. I mean, it's a really good time.
Sounds like fun.
It's a really good time. But like you know how it is when you haven't been able to catch red. Remember how red snapper, like it was so amped up because it was such a short window.
This is a terrible example for me.
This is that.
Hate
Like
red
I would
snapper.
get, but used to you would get excited over it. Used to you did. No, never.
Never.
Oh man.
No, I mean I'm being facetious. Red snapper for me is just so over dramatic. People play it up too much. There's such a low supply. The demand is so high. People get crazy. I talked to somebody on the phone yesterday. We have amberjack open. We've got so many fish open. It's a cooler time of year in October. Like literally October, the first 2 weeks or so of October is my favorite time of the year outside of like the end of April, first couple weeks of May. Like those 2 times a year, those like shoulder seasons where you're transitioning, those are the best times of year. Light loads, not a lot of people around. And we're coming up on a time of year where we have 20, 25 people going out in overnighters and everything is open. You can catch literally every fish we harvest except for red snapper, red grouper, and gags are now closing too. So 3 fish out of like 30 that we catch are closed. And I could not talk this guy into going out. He was like, I'm just going to wait till June when red snapper season is open again.
Oh, my gosh.
And I hear that all the time. And people will wait until June and July, and they'll go fishing 6 times in 2 months. And then the rest of the year, they won't fish at all. And it just drives me a little bit crazy because there's so many other good times to go. And it's cooler, nicer, less people on the boat. Why wait till the hottest time of year where the boat's packed?
Yeah. Like I said, I try to talk people out of early teal season all the time. If you go, you're hardcore. You love it. But I am going to say, we talked about weather. We always do our weather update open. Have you smelled fall yet?
I have a few times.
Okay. Isn't it weird how like
It's
in Florida
teasing us.
you can like feel fall?
Oh, yeah.
Like, but it's 96 degrees one day and it's 95 degrees the next day, and you're just like, oh man, I feel it coming. Like
There
it's
was one
different.
morning, it was probably like 2 weeks ago, where I walked out and it was like 80. I
Yeah,
was like, oh,
with a
this
breeze.
is cool.
80 with a breeze, and I was like, oh,
This
I
is
feel
Florida fall.
I feel it coming.
Yeah, fall has definitely been in the air, and it's in the water. We're seeing the transitions happening already. That photo period is starting to shrink. The days are getting shorter. We're seeing the snooks start to transition. Redfish are starting to school up. Sheep's head are coming back a little bit. We're seeing bigger sharks. Dude, they caught a 7-foot bull shark, probably more like an 8-foot bull shark.
That was a big bull shark. I saw a picture.
Off the end of the dock at Don's Dock. Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw a guy get one off the. That was a big bull shark.
Yeah, we got another 9-foot bull shark on a shark trip 2 days ago, and these sharks are being caught like in the pass. So they kept coming up to the dock, and when they were dumping carcasses, they just saw this big shadow, and carcasses were disappearing. So they dropped down a bait, and they couldn't stop it. So they brought out a 9-aught max drag, 200-pound braided line, and dropped it down, and sure enough, insta-bite, and just started cruising. And luckily a boat was cruising by. They hopped on it, and like 45 minutes later landed a huge bull shark.
That's a big bull shark.
Right on the sandbar where everybody parties in Johns Pass.
Awesome.
It's beautiful.
That's reassuring.
Yeah. So it is a sharky time of year. This is that time of year where we see less volumes of sharks.
But bigger sharks.
Bigger sharks.
Yeah.
And that just gets more and more true as we move into those cooler months.
And, you know, most of my bull shark stuff was always around tarpon. Like you always saw bulls following the pods of tarpon and stuff. But I feel like I see more bull sharks caught this time of year than anything else.
Yeah, because they don't have the tarpon to follow around as much.
So like they get, I think they get just scattered out and, yep.
They're feeding a lot more actively. And then this time of year when we start to see the water really cool down, that's when the cool sharks show up, like the great whites, the makos. We start to see more of that offshore. So it'll be interesting to see them come back.
I love sharks, man. They're so cool.
Yeah. So long story short, weather's looking good, and it's a great week to get out there on the water. This weather update was brought to you by our friends over at Reese Windows and Doors. They are the leading window and door company in Florida with over 50 years in the business. They offer free installation on most windows and doors, and they install in just 6 weeks. They only use in-house installers, no freelance contractors, and their work comes with a double lifetime warranty, which means you never pay for your warranty. When you sell your house, that warranty will transfer to the new owner, adding value to your home. Visit reesewindows.com for more information. Definitely exciting.
The full moon, you mentioned photo period.
Yeah.
That's why we have early teal when we do.
Why?
Because teal are the most photo period driven of ducks. So as soon as day length switches, or the impending day length switches, those birds start moving south.
Yeah, photo period is length of day, for those wondering. So as that day starts to shrink, that's when a lot of species, now I learned today, teal, ducks, but also snook are very tied to that as well.
Absolutely. And teal are funny because, you know, people think about duck hunting, like if cold front comes through, it'll push ducks.
Okay.
It does to some degree, but really you got to lock up the food. You got to have it freeze up or be fed out. Teal, as soon as the day length changes, man, they move. They move. And so we started seeing teal last week of August.
Yeah, I used to think the snook had more to do with the cold fronts, but I definitely think I've been switched.
It's day length.
Yeah.
So we got that full moon this week, and I feel like this week is the day. I could be wrong about this. In this solstice or whatever that we're coming up on, the day where it's equal. It's like half.
Very close.
It's like 12 hours of sunlight, 12 hours of darkness or something like that.
I don't know when that's coming, but I know that it's definitely shortening up.
That's when the real, like the heaviest migration of most ducks will happen like into October, because that's when the day length is obvious and they'll start to move hard.
Duck ranching.
Ranching.
That's your duck hunting company, right?
Duck ranching.
No G.
No G.
Duck ranch.
At duck ranching.
There it is. That's going to be an exciting time of year. So lots of cooking out, lots of hunting ducks, and we still got another few months here to push our Yes on 2. That's a big thing. We had a great fundraiser the other night, and we need to keep pushing that.
Hey, you did a great job. They were looking for a speaker kind of in this area, and like
Mike wasn't available.
You and Mike
Step
were the
in
only two
Dylan.
names I gave them. You and Mike were the only two names I gave them because I'm like, these two guys are all in and they get why this is so important. And,
Yeah.
You did a great job talking about, why it matters. And
If there's a speaking engagement at gun stores like Shooter's World in the future, I'll be there.
yeah,
That place was awesome.
that place is incredibly cool. Shooter's World is a cool.
Next
cool
time I go
place.
there, I want to meet the owner because I need those cases open.
Dude.
I want to shoulder that bazooka.
It was like being in a museum.
It was. And they had an M60.
It was so cool. Like
I really want to hold that thing.
before you got there, I walked the entire,
Yeah.
and I read all the little plaques and stuff. And it's like
I was like a kid in a candy store.
it was like the history of the military rifle or something. They had like a whole setup of that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was cool.
They had the iteration of every military rifle since World War One.
Yeah,
It was really cool.
yeah. Like, man. And guess what? Like, it's an event. Dylan's there, to speak. Guess who got assigned to go find Dylan in the store because he's off looking at every gun in the store.
Travis knew where to find me.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't have to look for him hard. He'll be at the gun counter.
Oh, he's filling out paperwork.
Except there's 300 linear feet of gun counters in there. Like, I don't know
was
how big. It's
difficult.
massive.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was hard to find the different cases. I
Yeah.
had to keep asking people like, "Oh, where's the FN?" All right. Well, where's Smith & Wesson?
But also their employees were super knowledgeable. They were all
Yeah.
super helpful. Like,
Yeah.
I was really impressed with that place.
Yeah, me too. Definitely a cool gun store.
Appreciated them letting the campaign.
I've never
team
met a
do
gun
it.
store I didn't like though.
That's true.
It's kind of like tackle shops. Each one's different. Each one has a different culture. Each one
That's
has a
true.
different feel. They're all unique and special in their own ways. I love them.
I came into pump today, man. Like, I've been fishing. I've done fishing in the last month. We did Yes on 2 stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm ready to roll this morning.
Yeah, and python hunting. Isn't it better in the cooler months because they're out more?
So I don't know. Like, there's a debate a little bit between python people. Some people like the summer because it's hot and they're active.
Mm.
In the winter, though, because they're cold. They're cold-blooded. Is that right?
Yeah.
They get up on the roadways and
That's what
banks
I
and
would
stuff.
figure.
The sun, and so they make them a little easier, but they're not as active.
Yeah.
So I think some people.
If I'm going to hunt
summer,
like a 16-foot snake, I don't want to.
yeah, I prefer alligator hunting in the winter, although that's not the time to go. But I like it for that same reason.
Interesting. More on that, and hopefully we'll hear from you as well. Remember, you can join the conversation, bring us a fishing report or question. 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation. Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back.
Yeah, the lab grown meat thing.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
dude's growing fake meat out here,
Fake meat.
fake meat. And did you see that if you want to get a sign in the person that does signs in? Is that yours?
Yeah, it's really loud.
The person that does signs in, they have a user network where you can email someone if you want a sign in your area. And they have a captain in all these areas around the state for
Yeah.
go to 2. The person in St. Pete is I'm meatless, are you? That's their email address.
Oh my god. These are just these are things that we should just make a bullet point list.
I know you think
the,
of the
Ballotpedia thing, the argument, that first one, take that, copy and paste it.
yeah.
These different examples. It's like, oh, you want to vote no on 2? These are the people you're supporting.
Yeah,
I'm
They
meatless,
made
are
up
you?
that the giant foreign commercial interests were behind all this, and yet the guy that's actually behind all of it is a guy that wants to grow meat in a lab. Okay. You can go look at everyone that supports it. No one has a tie to any commercial fishing interest or anything like that. And then this is oh my god.
So, the no on 2 people spread the gillnet rumor, which is false.
Yep.
They spread the trespassing rumor.
Yep.
Which is false.
Oh, there's a million of them.
And then main guy
It's growing.
is hydroponic meats.
Yeah.
Hydroponic meats. That right there should make you vote against him. And then St. Pete captain, sign captain.
What happened in St. Pete?
The sign captain for St. Pete.
Oh, yeah.
I am meatless.
Yep.
Are you? Should make a bullet point list like that.
Yeah.
To get out to people. Like, here are the reasons that you should discredit the no on 2 people. It is not foggy over here, Tim McCardle. But it's getting to be that time of year.
It was a little hazy up high, like when I drove through Tampa.
Oh, really?
You can see a little hazy around the buildings, but nothing like, you can still see the buildings good and everything.
Pinellas County was clear.
It was calm out there, too.
Dan, the fishman, said reds are chewing like crazy.
Yeah, we wrecked the reds 2 weeks ago. Wait, you see something with redfish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we wrecked the reds 2 weeks ago in Sarasota.
Nice. Morning, Sunshine Skyway Fishing Club. Morning, Robert Riggs, Nick Nieves, Jeff Reedy, Jim Demmel. Appreciate you guys. Denoris, Jerry, Christine, Tim, Gary. What's up? Jason, Captain Van in the house. Captain Van said he's waiting on white pelicans.
That's right.
It's that time of year.
That's right.
Daniel Beaverly, what's up, man? Todd Boggs, Frank, Paul Brown. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Frank said, people up north crack up when I tell them fall is in the air when it's in the upper 80s.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. The bay water has not really cleared up too much, but it should be continuing to clear up. We haven't had any really crazy rains like we were getting. And this full moon should help too. Full moons generally are going to bring bigger tides, bigger volumes of water flushing, and that should hopefully help kind of flush out the bay and clear it up a little bit. Jerry said the reds are going off too, so everybody's talking about a redfish bite. Nice.
Yeah, I heard the redfish bite was amping up.
Yeah.
I think we got in on the front of that, but man, that's a good redfish feed. Like, I don't know about you, like we never caught a bunch of redfish growing up.
Yeah.
Like we would catch redfish, but
I was a snook fisherman.
I was too.
Right.
Like we catch redfish anecdotally, like accidentally here and there as you kind of moved around, but like, yeah.
Is that us? Yeah. We're
Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
We're back, Bartow Ford, Real Animals Radio, talking fishing this morning and enjoying some beautiful weather and an exciting time of year as we move into that transitional period. Fall is in the air, fall is in the water. Things are happening, things are changing, fish are moving, birds are moving, and we got a lot going on. So great time to join the conversation this morning, bring us a fishing report. A lot of people talking in the Facebook streams on the Real Animals and Hubbard's Marina Facebook pages.
About the redfish bite.
About the redfish bite. So definitely exciting to see those redfish. Typically that full moon in September is kind of the peak redfish congregation point, and we're there. We're on the doorstep.
Yeah.
You know what else we haven't mentioned? Mackerel. It's that time of year.
No, like this is such a unique. Florida's so unique, dude, because there's always something. It's like it's hard to find a time of year. Maybe February, but February is when the sheep's head bite goes kind of wacky good.
Mm-hmm. And we get blackfin tuna offshore.
Yeah, like the offshore stuff, I don't know as well, but I know that there's always something offshore.
It's crazy.
But like the mackerel run is.
It's here.
Yeah,
it's coming. I wouldn't say it's here, but it's coming.
It's en route.
It's
on its way.
It's on its way. That's a good way of putting it. So we're excited. And then behind the mackerel, generally, we'll see that kingfish run right behind it. Generally, historically, right around the end of September, it kind of gets going. So I would imagine we'll start to see those mackerel more and more on the beaches here in the course of the next couple of weeks, and it'll just get better and better and better until it kind of hits a peak sometime around October-ish, depending on the weather. That's 72 is the low end, 78 is the high end of water temperature wise, where we really see those mackerel and kingfish well. About 73, 74, 75, all the way up to about 76 is kind of the peak. So we'll see. Water temps have creeped down with all that rain. I was surprised to see it creep back up pretty quickly as soon as it stopped raining, but water temperature.
Yeah, it bounced
air
right
temperatures.
back.
Yeah, air temperatures will definitely bring it back. But hopefully we'll see those water temperatures start to change with the patterns that we're already seeing. And it's an exciting time of year, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I want to say one of the deer seasons opens today. I'm
Really?
not a big deer hunter anymore, but I think one of the big zones in Florida, because Florida has multiple zones.
So
one
you
opened
hunt turkeys, ducks, pythons, and gators. Those are your big things?
Me?
Yeah.
Turkeys, ducks, python. I do hunt a lot
And
of hogs,
squirrels.
but I don't run hog hunts.
I got you.
I kill a lot of hogs because
Yeah.
they're such a nuisance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't run hog hunts. But like if I have somebody there for a duck hunt or something, and like it's a group that we brought in from out of town, we'll take them hog hunting in the afternoon sometimes.
Just because you have to keep the property clear, the land clear. 'Cause
Yeah.
They'll mess up your duck.
They'll damage fences, they'll damage land, they'll create stuff that cause havoc for cattle. Like they're just bad news. So we don't run hog hunts because to run hog hunts you would like bait them. We don't want to attract them. We want to get rid of them. And the science says the only way to limit hogs, you can't eliminate them.
The science says a helicopter and a 50 cal.
That's true. So a group of hogs is called a sounder.
Yeah.
The only way to get, like, if you want to create a vacancy, you have to eliminate every hog in that sounder. Otherwise,
Total elimination.
yes, it'll be like 20, 25 hogs. You have to kill all of them. If not, they'll start breeding faster.
I love science.
They'll start breeding faster, and you'll have more hogs.
That's crazy.
So if you killed 10
I
of them,
learned so much in just 5 seconds there.
They'll blow up the population.
So a group of hogs is called a sounder.
Yep.
And if you have a sounder or a group of hogs and there's 20 in the population, if you take out 5 of them or something, they panic and they're like, oh, our group is shrinking. So they go into hyper breeding mode.
It's called the Medusa effect. Like snakes on a head. You cut one off. I think maybe that's around.
Yeah.
It's the Medusa effect, though.
I don't know.
The Hydra effect. The Hydra effect. The animal you cut its head off and it creates another one. That's it. The Hydra effect.
That's
Pretty cool.
That's total elimination and nothing at all. Huh?
Yeah, you can't. That's why you can never eradicate them.
Huh. Well, that's why we haven't tried yet. Hopefully we'll hear from you. Save the conversation. 1-800-969-9352 if you want to join the convo. We'll be right back. Real Animals Radio on the other side.
From the local Lexus dealers.
Hydra effect. Total elimination.
Yeah. Somebody asked me a couple of years ago, like, how many hogs did you kill this year? And I was like, dude, I couldn't even get a count. I think I stopped at like 100, 120. Like,
Wow. What, when you're just driving around on the property, you have just a rifle on the truck?
You see one, you shoot them. Sometimes you'll see like a big boar by himself.
Yeah.
Like, you want to kill them.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I was like, down.
What, gas prices? Yeah. Well, they want to get reelected, dog. It's all a game.
President doesn't. No one controls gas prices, Dylan.
Okay, Travis.
Oh my god.
It's always comical around an election. Everything starts to seem better.
Yeah.
Ooh. No matter who's in charge, red, blue, it doesn't matter. It's not a political statement. They always try to look their best when they're trying to get reelected. Politics in general is like that, man. It's scary. Like, I talked about it a lot in the live show, man. Like, this is the time of year, if you want to get something done locally, your local politicians will answer the phone and meet with you.
1,000,000% they will.
Yeah, because they want to get reelected. So if you've ever wanted to talk to a local politician or get something done, this is the time of year to do it because they answer their phone. And you got to get it done before the election because once they get reelected, they won't answer your freaking calls anymore. It's nuts.
I couldn't figure out how to get on online. I've been struggling this whole time.
Oh, really?
Well, I got online, but I couldn't get into my Facebook account to like check the feeds.
Paul Thomas says, "What do you do with the hearts from the hogs you kill?" Well, most of the hogs you kill, if they're nuisance animals and you're shooting them from a long distance, just coyotes take them, right?
Nothing goes to waste in nature.
Yeah.
If I've got time and I always have a cooler, but if I've got time, I'll cut like the back
loins.
straps out. Yeah.
What do you do with all the hearts and the livers, Paul? He's saying, "I'll take all the hearts and livers and kidneys from the hogs you kill." What would you do with all that?
Maybe he eats them. Maybe he uses them for baits or something. I don't know. I've learned more about hog hunting in the last 5 years.
Why is a group of hogs called a sounder?
I don't know.
That's
I don't know the answer to
interesting.
that. I don't know the answer to that. I know that if you get on a levee,
I thought it was always like a herd or something like that.
if you get on a levee and so you're elevated and they're out in the field and you shoot the back one, they'll run towards you.
Huh.
They'll run away from the one that you shot first, and so you can shoot from back to front to try to eliminate the whole sounder. And I'm not saying I'm good at it. Like, there's guys out there that kill hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these things a year.
Yeah. It's a job. It's a job. It's a legitimate career for people.
Yeah.
Hog hunting or hog elimination.
Yep.
We have a problem with that in our property up north because we back up to a state park or I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But, a preserve, Flying Eagle Preserve, and they come off the preserve and it's hard to control.
Yeah, they are. Can't control them.
Yeah. And they do exactly that. They hurt fences or they'll just tear up the orange trees, tear up the ground.
Hydro effect. Yeah. Thank you, Bill. I was struggling there, brother.
Paul Brown says gator bait. That's what he uses the hearts and the livers and kidneys for.
Do they float? Can you tell me if do they float?
They must.
I'm asking, like, assuming they're listening and watching.
Yeah. Well, he responded and told us why he wanted them.
Yeah, no. So do they? Be cool if they floated.
Oh wait, no. The guy who asked for the hearts, livers, and kidneys said he uses them for sausage.
Grinds them up.
The guy who said gator bait was, I think, just guessing. Morning, Rachel. Morning, Big O.
A good crowd this morning.
Yeah, man. The diehards.
Yeah.
Paul Brown says they do float.
Okay. That's the thing with beef lung in gator hunting is it floats.
Yeah. I would imagine lugs would have to float because they still have oxygen in them. Air pockets.
You want that bait?
You can blow them up.
You want that bait to float? Well, you won't blow those up because you usually leave them in a bucket for about 4 days to get ripe.
Smelly.
There we go.
Your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
We're back, Bartow for Real Animals Radio. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Affordable Roofing Systems. Whether you need a shingle, metal, tile, or flat roof, our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are your safest choice for repairs or replacements. With over 3 decades of roofing experience, let Affordable Roofing Systems guide you through this important process. They are defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a personalized and professional approach to doing business. Call 888-397-ROOF for your free estimate or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Good people over there. They did my roof. They do great work.
They're the guys that
Highly
helped Bobby out, right? They gave him some advice, free advice.
The owner of the company, because they couldn't help him.
Right, they didn't go to that area or something.
Yeah, they couldn't do work down there. They were spread too thin. But the owner of the company personally called Bobby and gave him advice.
That's
Pretty cool.
awesome.
Yeah, nice.
Good people out there, man. There's more good people than there are bad. We just hear the negatives and stuff a lot more.
Yeah. Negativity is definitely amplified the loudest, unfortunately. But speaking of good people, we got a good guy on the call line here. Captain Van Hubbard is calling to join us this morning. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. Remember, if you want to join the conversation, if you have a question, just want to say hello, 1-800-969-9352 is the call-in number. With that, let's jump over to Captain Van Hubbard. How you doing, Vanley?
What's up, Captain Van?
I'm doing wonderful. What a beautiful, beautiful morning.
Amen to that. Gorgeous day. What do you got for us?
It's just great. I'm getting ready to take off for a little bit, go to some cooler weather. I'm enjoying the slightly cooler weather.
Yeah.
It definitely is the transition time, and things are starting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to going duck hunting there when things cool off.
There it is.
He's coming duck hunting with us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be fun.
And just letting you guys know you're doing a great job, and I'm hearing good reports of mackerel, a few redfish, a lot of little trout,
Nice.
few snook. This is, as Dylan was saying a little bit ago, this is really my favorite time of year between now and Thanksgiving.
Amen. It is a beautiful time to get out there. So you're seeing a lot of mackerel on the beach or up in the bay?
Scattered both places, but the mackerel migrations will be starting. And you're not old enough to remember, either one of you, actually, but prior to 86, when they shut down mackerel, the king mackerel, the spring and fall mackerel migrations were the biggest fishing economic impact, and the biggest deals. Everybody had a boat that would float would be out there catching mackerel, and king mackerel were easy to catch and good eating and just lots of fun.
Yeah, I know. I believe that was Grandpa's major kind of focus when he started Hubbard's Marina back in the 1920s.
Mackerel fishing?
Mackerel fishing, kingfish, and tarpon.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But you would know better than me.
When I started, spring and fall kingfish were our big times of the year. They were biggest fishing events, like red snapper season is to you now.
Mm-hmm. That was the focus for sure. Definitely a lot of them. Yeah. The acres of bait. Imagine going back in time, fishing back in the 1940s when the internal combustion engine just started.
I love the idea of going back in time. Like, I'm like, maybe I was born in the wrong time. And then I think about air conditioning. And I'm like, nah, this is probably okay. This is probably right.
I'm happy here.
Captain Van, a lot of people talking about Amendment 2?
Yeah, right, many. And, it's necessary. It's a good idea. And I'm sure hoping everything works out.
Appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, we need 60% of the vote, and it's really got to get done. If we don't get it past this go-round, it's going to open the door to some scary things. And a lot of the people behind vote yes on 2, and the people that are really pushing yes on 2 have made it clear this is our shot.
Yeah.
If we miss this chance, we are going to really open the door, because the anti-hunting and fishing groups will see that Florida doesn't have a strong opinion.
The anti-meat groups.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was a big thing, the no on 2 folks, the people who are opposing passing the right to hunt and fish. The main guy in the state of Florida who's kind of running the group owns Hydroponic Meats. What was the name of this?
Hydroponic Meats was the name of the company.
Growing meat.
Yep, in a lab.
There's so many different wrong things about that. That is un-American.
It's just ungodly, in my opinion.
Ungodly. I love it. Yes, I would agree.
That's a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amen. Well, we appreciate the phone call as always. Hopefully you have safe travel and enjoy some cooler weather.
God bless you, and keep up the good work, guys.
Thanks, Captain Van.
We appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. We also got Stan from Milwaukee on the line. What's going on, Stan? How you doing this morning, buddy?
Hey, Stan.
I'm doing well. Thank you. 2 questions. I've been fortunate to go down to Florida for a 3-week vacation for the last 22 years,
Nice.
typically fishing out of the Sarasota area.
Mm-hmm.
This year, my trip is a little later. I'm going like the middle of January. So at Hubbard's, what can you predict to catch typically in the middle of January?
Offshore fishing wise, you got red grouper will reopen January 1st. So that'll be fun to go target those red grouper out in deep water. We've also got a good opportunity for the mangrove snapper. Generally are pretty solid and big that time of year. We see a lot of blackfin tuna up on the surface. There's a variety of different species open, ready to be caught. So I would say that would be the focus offshore, probably red grouper with the side of the snapper. Then near shore, hog fishing is kind of at a peak that time of year. So January is a little tough because you have the cold fronts. So I would say January fishing is incredible in between those fronts, but you got to time your trip around the front. So I would tell someone like yourself who's coming into town from out of state, plan your fishing trip at the very beginning of your visit, because there is a strong chance that the weather might be nasty, or if you don't catch that cold front timing right. So if you're in town for a week, for example, plan your fishing trip the first day that you're available, and then you have the rest of your vacation to reschedule in case the weather is a little bit nasty. Because if you have the flexibility to do that, then you can fall in between those fronts. Generally, right before a cold front or a few days after the last one is the kind of the best time. So generally, those cold fronts start coming by January. They're like every 3 to 6 days. So if you can fall 2 or 3 days behind the last one, right before the next one, weather is gorgeous, fishing is hot, and there's a bunch to catch. Near shore, hogfish, offshore, red grouper, inshore. Prime time for sheep's head, really good trout bite.
Yep.
You can find some snook and redfish.
If you get that heat, depending on the weather pattern, if you have a cold front and then it starts to warm back up, those fish will like your reds and snook will sometimes start to chew really good that time of year.
It really depends on what the weather's doing too. Is it the cold fronts hardened down? Are they coming every 3 or 4 days? Or are they coming every 5 to 7 days? And those patterns are important.
Based on my experience, there's always a cold front on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Based on my experience.
Seemingly that time of year. We lost Stan. He dropped off the line.
Oh,
but
dang. That's a good call.
He got a majority of that. But definitely an exciting time of year. And that time of year, really starting October in the next couple weeks, that cold front timing becomes so important. Mm-hmm. It sounds like for ducks, it has a big effect. For fishing, it's huge. So this is that time of year where it's funny, we do those live videos in the morning, and I kind of feel silly through the summer, really through the spring and summer and into the early fall, because it's like every morning, it's like, it's hot, drink water. That's the weather update, right?
Right.
And what the moon's doing might have a little bit of play, maybe some rain.
Yeah, this time of year, it gets very granular in that you can say, look, Monday, Tuesday's going to suck.
Yeah.
Wednesday, we should see it pick up. Thursday, Friday is going to be you can really get granular on it.
Exactly. So when we start to get into those fall, winter patterns, that's when I feel like those live videos in the morning become so invaluable, because it's literally me spending 15 minutes in the morning checking the weather for Hubbard's Marina and our trips. And then I just go on Facebook and tell everybody, hey, this is the best day to go fish.
Do you see that time of year? Because I haven't fished that time of year in a long time. Do you see that time of year, the bite also improve with that fall right before a front?
Generally, yes. The best fishing is right before that low pressure comes through. And as that low pressure is kind of sweeping down in the area. And that's why you hear about those like commercial boats getting stuck in those big frontal boundaries, or fishing offshore in a hurricane. Yeah, because they want to fish up until that low pressure moves through, and that barometer takes a dump and stays low. Then the fishing kind of shuts off. But as that low pressure moves through, that barometer starts creeping back up. Fish heat back up. It's kind of like you and I. I always try to explain it like, if a storm's coming, we prepare for that storm. So we're out buying all the water at Publix and all the toilet paper.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then the storm comes through. We're all in our homes, hunkered down. And then when the storm passes, we all slowly start to come out of our homes, clean up, and then kind of get back into the normal rhythm of
2, 3, 5, 7, 10 days, depending on the impact.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy. I will tell people ask me about duck hunting themselves, like on public land and stuff like that. And I'm like, the most important thing you can chart is your success relative to the barometer. That is the most important. Like, if you can keep track of the pressure and what that changes, you'll begin to pattern when those birds are going to move, how they're going to move, to the point where there's some days, I don't want to give too much away here, but there's some days I used to run a duck hunt and I'd pick my clients up at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's guys out there at 4:30
Yeah.
We'd go shoot ducks and be back to the ramp by 10
Nice.
because we knew when that barometer was going to fall. And it's not perfect, but it's a way better educated guess around when those, and it's no different. Anything in wildlife, I guarantee you the same thing happens with deer, turkeys, fish, etc. If you can chart that barometer and follow that barometer.
Yeah. A moving barometer is always best.
Yes.
And static high, static low is never good.
No.
A falling barometer is generally better than a rising barometer.
Correct. But any type of movement is good. But a falling barometer is
always the better
Oh
one.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why I always take pause when people get so hung up on the moon phase. They're like, well, I'm planning my trips next year and I can only go this week because that's when the moon is doing this. And I kind of hold back a chuckle because that's only one of 30 variables.
Exactly right.
What is the barometer going to be doing next year? You don't know.
Yep.
Because you can't know. And what is the water salinity? What is the turbidity going to be doing? What's the chlorophyll levels? What's the water temperatures? Are there going to be those different layers of bathymetric pressures? Are there going to be thermoclines? You don't know any of that.
And moon affects tide, but also it can flip when animals feed because like snapper, I know will feed at night on moon sometimes.
Yeah.
And in duck world, a lot of ducks will flip nocturnal if you have a still clear moon. Like they'll just go nocturnal, which is bad for duck hunting.
But at the same time, is like, yeah, a snapper bite is really good around a full moon night. But what if it's cloudy?
That's exactly what people don't understand is like, people are like, I want to book, the full moon in December to hunt wood ducks. And I'm like, okay, just letting you know right now, like that's not on paper. I have no idea what that's going to mean. But
exactly,
like the one factor we know, that's not the best choice. That's not the best choice. But if it's cloudy, if there's a falling barometer, if there's a front that moves through, any of this other stuff, we can wreck them that day. But based off the data I have today, that's not what I would do.
Got to pay attention.
Yep.
Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives, the world's first self-sharpening knife that sharpens as it cuts. Ultra-hard carbide, never rust blade with true grit glass reinforced ABS handle on a knife that is perfectly balanced and comes in 5 great models to choose from. Take the work out of filleting a pile of fish today and get a Relentless knife at relentlessknivesusa.com. Find out for yourself why this is a knife the pros are talking about. Plus, they support Yes On Tour. Good people.
They did.
Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back.
George Lambert, good dude, for sure.
Paul Thomas is still talking, smoking sausage out here. Sorry.
I know. Paul Brown said, grown meat. What a jackwagon. That's funny.
Yeah, jackwagon of the week. There you go.
Paul Thomas, if I talk Travis into bringing some kidneys, livers, and hearts back, we got to check out this red Boudin spice and smoke. That sounds amazing.
Are you a Boudin guy?
Dude.
I love Boudin.
I'm a Boudin guy.
Dude, it's so good.
I have possum Boudin.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, dude, you're a redneck. I didn't know this about you, man. I thought you were a city boy.
I order Boudin in the mail. Oh yeah.
Get out of here.
Yes. I've literally ordered it in the mail more than once. And now that Wild Fork place is opening up in 4th Street. Super pumped.
So I drove by a Wild Fork yesterday when I was picking the signs up at
Bro, the place is legit. For us city folks.
Yeah, for y'all that can't source your own meat.
Well, I said at the same time, they sell things like bison and elk and even stuff you rednecks out in Imperial Polk County don't have all the time. So,
well, I actually have a steady stream of clients that trade me that stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Nice. They'll show up with elk or they'll show up with bison or moose or whatever. I've always got that stuff.
John Sanchez is a Gulf Council member, and he's a good dude. I really enjoy talking to him. Super smart. He's in the oil industry, fuel industry in Southeast Florida and the Keys and Southwest Florida. And he sits on the Gulf Council as a commercial advocate, and super nice guy, super intelligent. The long story short, he's a fitness guy. He's always been really fit. And, he is on that Wild Fork subscription thing. So they send you like coolers,
boxes of stuff
of frozen meats, and I've really been flirting with that idea because you can get like fresh, lean bison or elk or whatever venison just right to your house.
Do you know about Alpha Gal? the tick disease that makes you allergic to red meat.
If I had that, I'd probably die.
Same.
I would have to.
So it's a Lone Star tick. If it bites you, it can infect you with this thing that you basically are allergic to red meat. So you have to switch to chicken or.
I would rather have Lyme disease or something.
Fish, like it's all you could eat. Same. So it's not uncommon. It's becoming more common. But wild fork is pretty unique because I have a friend that had it, and I just learned about wild fork like a few months back.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was a thing. And they sell ground ostrich.
Mm.
And they sell ostrich steaks.
Yep.
And so he bought some for his wife. His wife has it. He bought some for his wife because he was able to grill her steak because she can't eat steaks anymore because she got bit by a tick on a hike, turkey hunting.
Wow.
And like she doesn't turkey hunt, she just went with it. She got bit by a tick and got alpha-gal. She can't eat red meat anymore.
Dude, talk about a nightmare.
Dude, it's the worst. It makes me scared of ticks almost, and I'm not scared of a lot of stuff. I don't want nothing to do with ticks.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to mess with my ability to eat a steak.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mess with ticks either. That and what are those slug-looking things in the water called?
Leeches.
Leeches, yes.
Yeah.
I had a leech up at our property. They were swimming in the creek. It's a spring-fed creek. It's beautiful, but it can get really dark and tannic. And my dad and my brother-in-law jumped in. And I was about to jump in, but my wife was like, heck no, you're not jumping in that water.
Yeah.
So I was just sitting on the dock playing around. There was gators there, so she was not into it. No. So I was just sitting on the edge, and I was like standing knee deep in the water. And she was like, get out. And I was just messing with her, you know. So standing right on the shoreline for 5 minutes, I got out. Dude, ankles to toes, I had like leeches? 6 leeches. Oh. I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't get in the water.
We're back, Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio, talking fishing, and hopefully hearing from you as well. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 is the phone number to join the conversation. Bring us a fishing report, question, whatever you want. Give us a shout. Also want to give us a shout to our friends over at Innovative Pools and Spas. Innovative Pools and Spa are our new partner. They bring over 35 years of experience to building pools in the Tampa Bay area. They're continuing the legacy of their father's company, which was recognized as the top pool builder in the Tampa Bay area for 35 years. Plus, they are continuing to raise the bar in pool construction, design, and features. They have an unparalleled passion for the industry, along with a deep-rooted commitment to the community and an unwavering dedication to excellence, driving them to uphold the highest standards in pool construction and integrity. Call them today at 727-788-1650 or visit them online at innovativepoolsandspa.net for an estimate to see why Innovative Pools and Spa are the top choice for the Real Animals fishing team. Good people over there for sure.
I don't know of any bad people that are running ads with you guys.
I know. We're very blessed.
The ones that I know of them are all incredibly good people.
Yeah. We have
like not just
team.
Their products, their services, whatever they provide, but also them as human beings.
Fishy
good
people.
Yeah.
Fishy people. It runs in the industry, it seems like. Someone said on the live stream, leeches are great fishing bait.
During the break, we went, was that a leech joke? Did you pull that off?
Oh,
during the break,
not intended.
We went way down a rabbit hole for a second there, but yeah, I don't know that I've ever used a leech as a fishing bait.
I wouldn't do it.
They don't bother me. Yeah, like the way that ticks do.
I don't like spiders. Don't love them. I wouldn't say I'm scared of spiders, but it's right on that border. I would say leeches. I would comfortably say is one animal I could be scared of.
Next break, I have a spider story I can tell you that's not great.
Yeah, like worms, grubs, all that kind of thing. They don't bother me. But like a leech is like a worm or a grub that can kill you, suck your blood. It's.
I don't think they kill you. I just think
I feel like they kill you. I was covered in leeches and I felt like I was gonna die.
You know what palm fronds are?
Felt invaded.
You know what palm fronds are? We cut them for like
fronds, like
for duck blind material. We cut them. And so one time I didn't have my boat, so I stuck them inside my truck.
This sounds like a stupid idea.
Medium-sized spiders that just look lethal in them.
Oh, yeah.
They got out in my truck and laid eggs. And when you turn the AC on, they would just fly out of the AC at you. It was like spider detox therapy.
So
my gosh, I had nightmares for years.
I grew up pretty close to the beach. I was blessed to live on the water, so like I wasn't even in Seminole. Like when you call me a city boy, like I was a beach guy, you know.
Yeah, obviously.
So like there wasn't such thing as oak trees in my life. Now I moved to Seminole when my wife and I got married in 2016, and 2 big oak trees in our front yard. So like I started parking my truck in the front of my house, and I was all happy, a homeowner. Well, I come to find out that oak trees have a lot of spiders.
Lots of spiders.
So almost every morning when I'm driving to work in the dark, there'll be a big spider just start cruising down the windshield.
And you don't know if he's inside or out.
You don't know if he was inside or out. And it was very unsettling at first. Now I'm chill with it. Like I've accepted it. So you've got
to, I call it detox therapy when you end up in the outdoors around them. Like
100% now calloused to this effect. But
I don't want one in my bed.
Early on, it was not okay.
But yeah.
So the story goes, Travis, driving to work, big old spider cruising down the windshield. And I'm like, is he inside? Is he outside? Am I going to die? And sure enough, he was inside. So I reach down stealthily, pull off my flip-flop, start to reach up, and I smack him on the windshield.
Did you
with
get
the
him?
Flip-flop. Oh, yeah, killed him.
Dude, some of those spiders, like you hit them, and they like push back on your shoe, and they're like, no.
No,
you don't get me
I'm
this
a spider
time,
killer, dog. I'm a professional. So I smack the spider with my shoe, and it, you know what happens when they kill them? They start to fall. Well, he hits the AC stream, which is, of course, it's Florida. It's on full blast.
Comes at you?
Right at my face.
Oh, my God.
Right at my face. I go up on a curb. Like, I'm so glad I wasn't in traffic, or I would have been in serious trouble.
Dude, no,
Nearly crashed my truck because a spider attacked my face.
Yeah, a dead spider attacked your face.
Yeah, its carcass came back from the dead to get its revenge.
I bet spiders are good bait, too.
Yeah. On the other side, we're going to hear from Captain Bobby Woodard, and hopefully you too. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation. Also, a shout-out to our friends at Ace Heating and Cooling. For over 20 years, Ace Heating and Cooling has been the name you can trust in the heating and air conditioning business in Hillsborough County. Chris Myers and his guys service all brands, residential and commercial. They do maintenance and full replacements. They build that long-lasting customer relationship. Give them a call, 813-657-8818, or look them online at brandonac.net to find out for yourself why Ace Heating and Cooling is the easy choice for the Real Animals fishing team. We'll be right back. Real Animals on the other side.
That spider story was legit.
No, thank you.
But yeah, since that I've become calloused. But yeah, using leeches as fishing bait—that's like a line I probably couldn't cross.
Oh, I could cross that. I could get on board with that. I just never done it. And like,
what if they bite you? Why put them on the?
They're gonna get what they deserve.
Spider detox.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah, the spiders that carry the babies on the back, that happened to me with a brown recluse.
Oh, no, thank you.
I had a big brown recluse in the house, and I killed it.
No.
And like, you kill a spider with the shoe, you're good. But when they've got those little babies,
they go everywhere.
And all of a sudden,
that's what was coming out of my air vents was those little ones.
Oh wow!
So there's just like, you turn the air on, and it's like a cloud of spiders would just poof out of the air vents. Oh my God.
That's terrible.
I'm dead serious, dude. I thought about selling the vehicle. I did finally sell it, and I never told anyone. I sold the truck.
Hopefully you sold it to like a dealership, and it was like a no-name transaction. It was like peer-to-peer, like selling that to somebody off like Auto Trader, and you knew who was going to be driving it. That's kind of messed up.
Man. Like, no, thank you.
It would have to be a faceless transaction for me to do that. Like, oh, I'll trade it in. I don't know the poor soul who was going to be driving this. And turn on the AC next. They're gonna get dusted by baby spiders.
Oh my God! And they would do exactly what you're talking about, except they were always inside. They'd run down the windshield.
Oh yeah.
But they're not as big as the ones you're talking about. They're like a little bigger than quarter size, maybe like $50 size. But they look dangerous. They look dangerous.
Scarlett Clark, yes, we're still live until 8 a.m. Unfortunately, only till 8 a.m.
I've been under the influence of arachnid.
Travis is never going to sleep again.
Emily will tell you, because I wake up with night terrors about spiders like once a week.
Oh, really?
I wake up just like whacking my pillow and stuff, and she's like, "Babe, what are you doing?" And I'm like, thought it was a spider on me.
Last night at 1 a.m., dude, I woke up totally awake. Like totally ready to rock and roll. I went to bed a little too early, like at 8:45, instead of 9:30 like I normally do. And I don't know if it was that. I don't know what it was. But, dude, I woke up at 1 a.m. Ready to rock. It was weird. Could not go back to sleep. Frustrating.
Deidre Brown says that leeches they're great for medical use. So next time you're up there, maybe if you could get a bunch, you could.
Those are lab-grown leeches that are medical
They said one time I thought she was a spider. That was unfortunate. That is true. I thought her hair was a spider and went after her. Not in the fun way.
Not in the fun way.
D. Gerber said Aquanet and a Bic lighter. I'll deal with the consequences later. I said what I said.
Dude, yeah. Lysol and a Bic lighter.
Oh my gosh, man. Why are we talking about this? I once drove through one of those banana spiders. You know those big ones that are this big?
Oh, yeah.
I drove through one of those mowing my yard.
I've dove off a moving ATV before.
I started stripping clothes, dude. I was running through my yard naked just about.
He's on a sex offender list now because of a spider.
Oh my god.
Yeah, driving the ATV trails and you all of a sudden look up and you're coming into a huge web.
That's not good.
I jumped off a moving ATV one time for that reason.
I unfollow people like scientists on Facebook that share that kind of stuff. No. Nope. Can't be friends anymore. You're sharing ticks and spiders. I'm out on you.
And bald eagles.
Sorry. O.S. Speaking of leeches as bait, what's the most outside of the box bait you have used? Used a piece of jerky once. Caught a snapper at a dock. You used anything weird?
The next thing is, have you had a spider come out of your shoe yet? Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
Because I keep my shoes inside.
No.
And when my wife puts my shoes in the garage, before I put them on, I take my hand and I go all the way through that thing.
You have to turn them upside down, knock them. You have to thoroughly bang on those shoes.
Like my fishing boots, they stay in the garage.
Yeah.
But before I put on my fishing boots, I spend a solid 30 seconds on each pair, going through them to make sure there's no spiders.
Anything in my shoe bothers, frogs bother me in my shoes because that happens a lot. Like those Cuban tree frogs will get down in there.
Mm-hmm.
No, dude, I don't want anything squishy in there. I don't want anything to move when I put my foot in there.
Yeah.
A shoe is an intimate place. I don't need any other living thing inside my shoe.
A shoe is an intimate place.
It's special, and I don't need stuff in there.
Yeah, 100%. Most outside of the bait or outside of the box bait that I've ever used. This isn't cool anymore because now everybody does it. But when I was really young, 9, 10, 12 years old, working on a charter boat with my dad, we had these clients, die-hard clients. They would go out in any weather, and I hated it because even if it was freaking 8-foot seas, we were going on a 40-foot boat. And I remember one time it was 8-foot seas, and we were going slow because you had to go the speed of the waves because they were that tall.
Right, you had to ride them.
So we were right in the trough, and you couldn't. It was wall of water in front of the boat, wall of water behind the boat, and we're still heading offshore. I was like, this is dumb. But those clients, they were diehards, and we would do 14, 16-hour trips, and they were eating chicken, fried chicken.
Yep.
Throwing them over, and you know how the story goes. Reeled up a red grouper, spit out a bunch of chicken bones, and dropped down a chicken bone. That was probably my most unique bait.
I think I would have said chicken as well.
Yeah. That, and I've used a lobster for a Cubera snapper before, but I am a big boy who enjoys food, so that lasted all of 60 seconds. I was like, oh, no bites, reel it up, and then I ate it. So,
Puffy Cheeto, East Coast Canal Trout. I like Puffy Cheeto.
That's us.
I'm not sure I want the...
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina. Hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
We're back on the top of the hour. Always know we're back when the show starts and that second hour starts. They do a second warning. Hey, these people have nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
It's so bad they have to do it twice.
To clarify, that first warning wasn't enough.
Yes.
We're doing this again, just
halfway through the show.
Just in case.
Just to remind you.
Don't come at us.
That these idiots don't work for us. Love it. love disclaimer. The fact that we have a disclaimer says a lot about our show.
It really does.
I feel like Mahoney probably was the reason behind it, but it's just matriculated through Saturday as well. Like, yeah, we're going to throw it on Saturday too, just to be safe. So we're excited. Second half of the show here. Hopefully we're going to hear from you. Remember, 1-800-969-9352 if you want to join the conversation. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Power Pucks, the world's first power supplied trolling motor quick release bracket. It eliminates the need for exterior power plugs, which can snag lines, corrode easily, or just be an eyesore cluttering up your deck. Go to pwrpux.com to find out for yourself why so many of the pros are making the switch over to Power Pucks. With that, we've got our buddy, Captain Bobby Woodard, on the line, who was supposed to be in studio this morning, but he's probably doing a home improvement project.
He better be out passing out Yes on 2 flyers.
Yes, he's probably on his way to the home improvement store passing out flyers, I would guess.
Doing both things.
But let's find out. What are you up to, Bobby?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, Bobby.
I'm actually about to head to Home Depot and get a couple supplies for the day, and come on back and get working on the house, man.
Yeah. Well, he did have his home totally destroyed by Hurricane Ian, so can't really make fun of him too much.
Coming up on 2 years from Ian.
Yeah.
First week of October.
We are.
But when this is all done, you should have like a before and after like photo video tour, and you'd probably have your own like HGTV show.
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy what Bobby's done. Yeah, I'm
pretty sure if we had our own show, it'd have to be on like Bravo or something, because some of the arguments and expletives.
Wow.
I don't think it'd be HGTV friendly.
Real House Husbands of Port Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Bobby's show right there. Love it.
Bobby, what's the weirdest thing you ever caught a fish on?
Oh, Lord. Shoestring, either a shoestring or a bear hook. So nothing too crazy and weird, but I've caught schooling, boiling schooling jacks, just having fun after we catch them on bait, and, a couple of, artificials and whatever. Then they're like, well, let's have some fun and see what we can do. So I've caught them with a bear hook and a little piece of shoestring tied on before.
That's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, the McDonald's straw. The McDonald's straw for mackerel.
Heard of that.
That one's pretty funny.
For mackerel. I've never done that one, but I've heard that one as well.
Yeah, I've tried it before. It worked.
Go ahead.
I just said I tried it before, and it worked. It worked really well.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But I was tuning in a little late, and I heard y'all talking about spiders, so I got a little spider thing for you right quick.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
Let's add to Travis's misery. He's squirming in his chair right now.
So similar to Dylan, what you mentioned right before the break, I'm actually towing my boat back from Daytona on I-4, middle lane on I-4, doing, 75, 80 miles an hour towing the boat. And I see these long legs come up through the vent in the dash.
No, stop talking.
And
what do you think about Amendment 2?
No, keep going. Keep going.
So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I look at it, and assumed by looking at it that it was brown recluse legs.
Dude.
Oh,
so I'm like, that doesn't look too cool there. So in my infinite wisdom, I'm like, I know how to get him out of my dash.
Turn up the AC.
I turn my windows down. I turned on the heat. And so a few minutes go by, and I see the legs disappear, and another minute goes by, and I'm like, oh, crap, what's that on my foot? It straight up dropped out of the dash down into the driver's floorboard on my foot. So I start shaking my foot. Keep in mind, I'm towing the boat at like 80 miles an hour in the freaking middle lane, right? So I started like kicking my foot, shaking my foot. It jumps off my foot. I hit my canopy light, my cabin light, and I watch it run up the hump in the middle, like over the transmission, and down and over into the passenger side floorboard.
Nope.
And I'm like, okay, at least he's away from me. So I'm able to slow down, whip over to the right shoulder, throw it in park, run around the truck, open the passenger door, take my flip-flop off, and beat the ever-living hell out of it and kill it right there on the shoulder of the interstate. Get back in my truck, turn the AC on, and go.
This is the worst show I've ever been a part of. Just FYI, I hate everything about what's happening right now.
I love the fact that you exited to the shoulder to do this.
Yeah.
Like against all traffic rules, regulations, and recommendations. With
my God.
a trailer. So how did you get back on the interstate? You were that guy that like slowly creeped up on the shoulder and then tried to merge into traffic? That sounds terrible.
So this was like very, very late at night. Like I'd been over at my buddy, fished a while, whatever. So I mean, it was like in that stretch from like Daytona to like Maitland or whatever, you know, like before you get to
the rare part of I-4 that isn't total chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The part that I always see deer, I mean, it's like it's very pretty and super naturey, you know, wild Florida up there. But I always see deer.
Wild Florida, Travis, right on the interstate.
Off I-4, yeah, Bobby.
That's total wild Florida, Bobby.
Well, I mean, you can drive for more than 10 feet and not see a building. So, I mean, that is wild Florida, right?
Oh, my gosh. What are we even doing now?
This is the worst show ever.
Bobby, what else are you calling in to talk about? Are there fish biting? Are you calling to talk A2? Like, I want to talk about anything that is not an arachnid.
Okay, so fishing has been good down here in, you know, Boca Grande, Charlotte Harbor area. Trout are everywhere on the flats. Redfish are starting to school up good. So there's still some, you know, tarpon around up in the harbor has been pretty much the best bet. They're poking in and out of the pass here and there, but the harbor's been the best bet for the tarpon.
Is that late season tarpon?
You can't say that to Bobby.
That would be post spawn tarpon. would be the correct terminology there, Dylan.
Okay. I apologize.
But yes, I mean fishing's good, but honestly, who cares about that? Let's talk about Amendment 2, man. What's going on with that?
It is important. We got to keep talking about it. So many people now wearing the Yes on 2 hat all the time. It's really interesting to me. Even close people that I consider friends, people that I consider part of our Hubbard's Marina family ask me like, "Hey, what's Yes on 2 mean?"
That's how you know if they've been paying attention to your shows or anything. Yeah, it's like, oh, really? You haven't listened to anything I've said in the last?
But even
6
people
months?
outside of that, like people who like know me well, I'm like, I'm floored at how bad of a job apparently I've been doing about making it known. So, yeah, the Yes on 2 hats are definitely important. We got yard signs. Travis is bringing in today, so I'll have hats and yard signs to pass out if you're interested. But, yeah, we got to keep talking about it. And apparently it helps with the campaign if we can try to get people to donate, even if you're donating $1,
$5, whatever, like anybody that can give money to it, it
a
shows
very
support.
small donation, yeah.
Yeah, it shows support from actual people that care about fishing and hunting. Like most of us can't go write a check for $1,000, $5,000, $50,000, whatever. Like the more real support we see, and that's not to say if you can, that's not real support. We just really want to see, you know, a bunch of people contributing small dollar amounts to show, hey, like there's a unified front behind this. And it does cost money. They've got a TV ad. We wouldn't have seen it here, but like it's run in the Tallahassee market. And it's a really, really well done ad that talks about how bipartisan it is, how everyone kind of agrees to this thing, minus like people that want to grow meat in their garage and then make up lies about it. That's the only faction that disagrees with it. And so anyway, anything you can do to help is greatly appreciated. We can put that in the comment section, the Yes on 2 Facebook page, or the Yes on 2 website where you can donate.
Yes on 2 donation link is going in the chat now.
Okay, you got it.
And
Thank you.
that would be voteyesonTwoFlorida.com, correct?
Yeah,
that's the website, but you can't put that website into Facebook.
You can now.
They've already shadow banned it.
No,
you can now.
You can now.
Nice.
It got fixed. The reason you couldn't put it in is back in 2016, Amendment 2 was medical marijuana, and Facebook banned the URL. So
that's the problem.
And now marijuana's on the ballot. You can advertise that on Facebook, everything else, but that ban was still in place. No one had undone it. So,
gotcha.
They figured that out and was able to.
Got it figured out about 2 weeks ago.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, even with all the opposition we're still facing, I'm still optimistic that we're moving the needle in the right direction. I mean, literally yesterday, I got a call from a good buddy of mine who fishes down here. He lives in Tampa, fishes down here, owns a couple of the old school traditional charter boat, inboard Boca Grande type charter boats. And he called me just out of the blue, and he's like, "Hey, man," he's like, I've been hearing a lot about this yes on two stuff. You know, a couple of guys I know are saying, you know, it's bad because it's going to do this, it's going to do that. But you know, I've been seeing all your posts about it, so I know you're involved in it. I figured I'd come straight to you for the facts. And I'm like, cool, thanks, man. How much time you got? So you know, we had a nice little chat, and you know, at the end of it, he was like, all right, cool, thanks for clearing that up. And I was like, yeah, no problem, but make sure you call back those dudes,
Yeah.
you know, and tell them as well, you know.
And that's the thing is we got to work through the division. Even in our industry, a lot of people are confused and are believing the disinformation campaign that's going on. There is a lot of money and a lot of opposition behind people opposing the Yes on 2 amendment. So we've got to work even harder to try to show support through small donations, whether it's $1, $5, $10, to that donation link, telling all your friends about it, wearing the hats, getting the yard signs, putting the bumper stickers on your vehicles, and just being loud and proud, because we got to spread the word and we got to get people on board.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bobby.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
We have a last minute push coming up at Bartow Ford as well, right? At the next Bartow Ford event.
Yes.
October 8th.
October 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to be giving away free food from Silver Ring Cafe. We're going to be giving away a Bull Bay rod. We've got an Engel cooler to give away. We've got Real Animal swag, Hubbard's Marina swag, Captain Travis Thompson, myself, Captain Bobby Woodard, Captain Mike Anderson. We're all going to be there talking about fishing, hunting, and, of course, Yes on 2 as well. So October 8th, 6 to 8 p.m., Bartow Ford. Hopefully you'll mark your calendar and be there. If someone wanted to get a hold of you or visit your website, how would they do that, Bobby?
Yeah, sure. Captain-Bobby.com or 863-224-1418.
That's it. We appreciate you, Captain Bobby. Thanks for calling in, and good luck on the home improvement today, buddy.
Thanks. Catch you later, guys.
See you, buddy.
Bye, buddy.
Always a good time talking to Captain Bobby Woodard. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that segment, and hopefully you'll vote yes on 2. Want to give a shout out to our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems before we go. Whether you need a shingle, metal, tile, or flat roof, our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are your safest choice for repairs or replacements. With over 3 decades of roofing experience, let Affordable Roofing Systems guide you through this important process. They are defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a personalized and professional approach to doing business. Call 888-397-ROOF for your free estimate or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Real Animals will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Editorial. This is a ridiculous amendment.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read you something.
Tampa Bay Times is
A ridiculous newspaper?
yeah. Does anybody even read the newspaper anymore, though?
Listen to this. If approved, this amendment will likely lead to more lawsuits challenging the regulation of hunting and fishing. This amendment is not about shooting deer or ducks. It's about shooting down environmental laws and regulations. We should reject this needless amendment. Guess where that's from?
Where?
That's from the Raleigh News and Observer in 2016 in the state of North Carolina that passed the same amendment.
Wow.
Guess what has not happened?
Any of that.
Any of that.
That's
same amendment, same language.
Yeah.
GTFO, man.
That's crazy. And is there proof of that it came from the Raleigh newspaper?
I'm reading it out of the Raleigh newspaper.
Wow. It's the same article. They literally copied and pasted it.
Well, no. I've read that out of the Raleigh newspaper.
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, it's the same argument.
Yeah, I got
It's probably a different word. A professor at Sanford said in 2016 there will be lots of litigation about these things and unintended consequences that people need to be aware of.
And 23 states have already done it, and there hasn't been any of that.
And North Carolina did it in 2016. That was written about North Carolina.
It's interesting.
Yes, Elfenbein. Bobby Woodard is the man.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Woodard's been an absolute machine on Amendment 2.
Yeah, he has. A true fiduciary. Angie Darling, the Yes on 2 hats are not in the store, but they are in my truck. So if you come to the store and I'm around, I can get it to you. Bartow Ford, I'll have the hats with me. So if you want a hat, you can get one at Bartow Ford.
Angel said leaving early so they can be at Bartow Ford on that day. Yeah, this is gonna be a banger, y'all.
Mm-hmm. The Bartow Ford events are always good. Great food.
I've been to several of those. Like, I love them.
Yeah.
I think I was honestly shocked at how big the space was. Like,
yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it really is. I grew up around there, so I still remember Bartow Ford being in a much smaller location, like 1,000,000 years ago.
Oh,
Their
really?
new place is like, I say new, they've been there 15 years probably, but it's like a mall.
It's huge. Yeah, it's a big spot for sure.
Really cool. I never understand the comments on Facebook. Do you understand why they don't refresh all the time? Did yours do that?
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Paul Thomas is coming. He said it's a long drive, but he's going to be there.
Ooh.
Everybody who's anybody will be there. I might see if I can convince Emily to come to that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You haven't met Emily, right? My Emily?
I don't think so. Heard a lot of stories. Paul Thomas, if you're going to be at Bartow Ford, we're going to have to try some of that red spice boon-in. He was the guy talking about
now I got to get...
the hog.
You just assigned me work in the next 2 weeks.
Hog, hearts, livers, and kidneys. Bring them to Bartow Ford with you.
I'll see what I can do.
A cooler of internal organs.
Yeah,
is your
that's not something you want to see when you get pulled over by Grady Judd.
These aren't human hearts, sir. They're hog hearts.
It's Polk County. Grady Judd probably sees that all the time.
Imperial Polk County.
Imperial Polk.
They pull over trucks with internal organs all the time.
Have you ever, speaking of Imperial Polk, have you ever used a purple booyah offshore?
No.
That'd be the trick, is to like take something that doesn't belong there.
Probably be a good mackerel.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Probably be a killer snook bait.
Paul Brown says, I bought Home Depot stock because of Captain Bobby.
You ain't wrong, bro.
Yeah, right.
Presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Sorry to disappoint. No Captain Mike this morning. We've got Captain Dylan Hubbard here, and we've got Captain Travis Thompson from allfla.org. Talking fishing this morning. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives, the world's first self-sharpening knife that sharpens as it cuts. Ultra hard carbide, never rust titanium blade with true grit glass reinforced ABS handle on a knife that is perfectly balanced and comes in 5 great models to choose from. Take the work out of filleting a pile of fish today and get a Relentless knife. Go to relentlessknifeusa.com to find out for yourself why this is a knife all the pros are talking about. Good people over there for sure.
Not just good people. It's been funny working through Amendment 2, the right to fish and hunt. Like the brands that jump on, the brands that don't. No hesitation from those guys. They were like, we are all in. Tell us what you need.
Yeah.
Like you need to be supporting veteran owned. Supports our right to fish and hunt. Makes a good product. Like
hits all the boxes.
Yeah. Like
what's more to say?
Yeah. Where else you looking?
With that, we've got Captain Mike Perry on the line. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. Remember 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation. Bring us a question, fishing report, whatever. Again, 1-800-969-9352. With that, Captain Mike Perry from Big Pine Key down in the Keys. I'm going to be in the Keys this week. So is Travis.
So am I. What's up, Captain Mike?
We're all heading down there.
I didn't get the notice. I didn't get the notice to allow you two big boys down into the Keys. I want to know what island so I know. Make sure I got my life vest on when you two big fellas.
We're heading down to Duck Key for the FWC commission meeting.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
They got one in the Keys.
They do.
Fantastic.
They do.
Fantastic.
We'll be there
Tuesday and Wednesday.
talking fisheries. I think it's primarily fisheries on this commission meeting. What I was looking at.
It's a unique
Nice.
agenda that's pretty much all fishing related. So
Yep.
it's going to be an important one to be at for sure.
Yeah, don't say the wrong thing. You'll end up in the mangroves. You'll end up a story. No, the fishing's been great. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm in Pasco County. Came up and did a day of fishing. My first Friday the 13th I fished since I was 25 years old. I have a very bad recollection of a Friday the 13th that stopped me from fishing. Actually, I won't ever fish normally on a Friday the 13th, but it's the only day I could get out, and Rick Gross and I went out and practiced with the old lures for the upcoming 6a-8a all-release tournament in Tampa.
Yep, great event.
To support Hillsborough County 6a-8a, which is Hillsborough County was a home of mine for many years, and I love what 6a-8a does from north to south, east to west. So, but yeah, we did it, and I had the Friday the 13th bug. I had what they called, he had another friend on the boat. I had what was called an almost slam. I had a keeper snook on. He shook off. I had two nice redfish on. They both came off. One broke off. One came unbuttoned. And then I had a very nice trout that would have rounded out. I would have been competitive, let's put it that way. I don't know if I would have won, but I darn sure would have been competitive if it was a tournament. So I hope I got all the Friday the 13th bug out of me yesterday. That doesn't happen in a couple weeks.
Based on my tournament experience, that is standard operating procedure. You cannot find those fish on tournament day.
Yeah. It's
I
always
wreck
like
them
that.
the day before.
Thanks a lot. I think it was just for me and him to work how to get the lures out, because I mean, the only lures, I was joking, the only lures I fish with, I'm trolling behind the back of my boat. Everything else is cut bait or live bait, on the bottom, or free lining, so but we had a great day, searched all over, had fun, and there's fish out there, plenty of fish out there.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good time of year. It's an exciting time.
But
of
anyway,
year.
No, it was funny. I actually had a question from a friend of mine who was with me the day that my Friday the 13th went bad on me, and said, I thought you don't fish on Friday the 13th since you almost got arrested off of a boat. Yeah.
I feel like that is a good story.
They had the wrong FWC joined with the Sheriff's Department down in Manatee County. Long story short, they run your ID. The guys left. All of a sudden, they're screaming back at the boat I had, full lights on, full siren. Which one of you is Michael Perry?
Uh-oh.
So that was me. Guy jumps on the boat, grabs me, gets his cuffs out. Long story short, there was another Michael L. Perry with the same birth date, 7/10/70, who was wanted for mass grand theft auto in Texas. Long story short, the guys, they said, we'll check it. They were cool.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes later,
and
they
Mike,
said,
we're
"Lift
up against
your
the
right
break.
sleeve." Sorry. I didn't have tattoos, and I was good. So you guys have a great day. God bless, and tight lines.
We
Thanks,
appreciate you, man. Good to hear from you again.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
See ya. Oh, that was a close one, huh? Glad he got out of that one.
Ooh.
Not having tattoos saved him.
There you go.
We'll be right back. Real Animals on the other side.
What if the other guy didn't have tattoos either, though?
I know. That would have been harder to prove. Ooh. "44 Hour killed him last night."
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's making it. Paul is making it.
Yeah. 10 pounds, he said. Looking forward to that.
Paul, do you make boudin balls, or are you making like link boudin? Like, what are we doing here? What are we talking?
Yeah. I need specifics.
Yeah. And or are you providing some sort of condiment as well? Like everybody's got their own like sauce to dip it in, like a remoulade or like a.
Oh, so you're saying like put a tray out? I'm not.
No, I'm not like a tray out front. Not like a tray out front.
Yeah.
Like there could be a tray, but it needs to be behind a curtain somewhere that like we know about.
Yes. Like the back seat of my truck.
Yes, like, exactly. We sometimes at the duck ranch, one of our people that works there for us, Christina, she's a big stone crabber.
Oh.
So after we put everyone out, we won't hunt
because you stay back and
we'll go back and eat stone crabs. So we'll talk about like, oh yeah, we had stone crabs at duck ranch, and clients are like, I didn't see stone crabs. Well, yeah, you dang sure did.
They were gone.
You a football guy? I don't even know what football games are today. I didn't even pay attention.
Today is Saturday, so it's
college, right?
All college, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know who's playing who or if there's anything like important.
I'm not a big college football fan. I mean, I like watching college games because they're so much more fast paced, but I struggle to just keep up with what's going on in the pros.
I used to follow college football a lot, and I don't anymore.
Yeah.
But
I went to UCF, so like that wasn't like a football school.
I like to put it on to like take a nap or work or whatever. Like I like to have a football game on. That's a good time, but I don't follow it like I used to.
College football is so much more fast paced and fun to watch.
I agree.
It's crazy. High scoring games, big plays. They definitely take more risk. Stacey Whittams is on.
Well, she's talking about super convenient locations. She's talking about
Bartow Ford.
Yeah, Bartow Ford is super convenient for me, Stacey. It's not super convenient for Stacey
or Dylan Hubbard. A little bit of a hike from western Pinellas County, but worth it. Worth the drive. It'll be fun.
I owed Stacey a phone call. I should have called her on my way over this morning. Catch up with her.
Dude, her hot dog tattoo makes me laugh every time I think about it.
Stacey, you play with live ammo when you talk tattoos and Stacey. Like, there's no telling what's going to happen.
Yes. So funny. If Real Animals is on or a college football game, I'm watching fishing all day.
Yeah, boom.
That's true. Our friend Captain Jonathan Moss, man, he's going to be on Discovery Channel, national cable television.
Dude's
cool. The Captain's Log. Pretty cool.
He's one of the best dudes, man. You guys are ever looking for an East Coast guy?
Yeah.
Captain Jonathan Moss. Go Castaway Charters, I think is his charter.
That's it. And he's going to have his radio show soon, too.
Yep.
He'll have a TV show and radio show.
I stayed at a lodge in Louisiana one time to fish, and they made boudin balls. I've been thinking about boudin a lot.
Dude, boudin balls are the best.
Yeah, so they're like a little bit bigger than like a hush puppy or something.
Yeah. And they're typically fried.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to Louisiana, I always have that as an appetizer.
Do they find them in panko? Is that what they do? Like breadcrumbs or something?
I don't know.
I'm
not like that type of person. Like, my dad will eat something. He's like, well, this has this in it, and it's this flavor and that. And I'm like, this is just really good.
It's so good.
Yeah. I've never met a boudin ball I didn't like.
They brought them out as like an appetizer, and nobody was eating them. So I did the old like you know when they bring bread and you're like, I'll have a piece.
Yeah.
Nobody else is eating. I'll have another piece. That's how I was with those boudin balls. It was like,
dude, I crush them. Definitely there's like 4 people at the table, you got to have more than one order for an appetizer for sure. Whew.
Unless you can talk somebody out on, you're like, yeah, this is like organs and rice and stuff. It's pretty gross.
This is everything you don't want to eat.
Yeah, as I house. This is the spiders of appetizers right here. I'll eat them so you don't have to.
I'll take one for the team. I ordered 3 orders of them, but they're terrible. Don't try it. You won't like it. Much like the deviled crab at Bartow Ford event, you won't like it. Don't try it. I'll take one for the team.
From Silver Ring?
Yeah, I'll take one from the team and I'll eat it all.
It's the spider.
If you add hot sauce to it, it's not good. It's the spiders of food.
Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
We're back, Tampa Bay. Captain Dylan Hubbard here for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show on News Radio WFLA. We've got Captain Travis Thompson from allfla.org, and we are talking fishing. Hopefully hearing from you too. Remember 1-800-969-9352 to join the conversation. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Ace Heating and Cooling. For over 20 years now, Ace Heating and Cooling has been the name you can trust in the heating and air conditioning business in Hillsborough County. Chris Myers and his guys service all brands, do residential and commercial repairs, maintenance, and full replacements. They send out technicians, not salesmen, because they try to build that long-lasting customer relationship that'll hold up over time. Call 813-657-8818 or look them up online at brandonac.net to find out for yourself why Ace Heating and Cooling is the easy choice for the Real Animals fishing team. Now that is a fishy cat.
Chris Myers? Oh, dude.
He's a hunter, fisherman.
Yeah,
he's got 2 boats.
He's out all the time.
Yeah, he gets after it. And his kids. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really good friends with his cousin, and we nicknamed his cousin Sandman because he puts everything to sleep, dude. He just kills it all. He's gators, and Chris is the same way. Like those guys are the same way. Like they just get after it.
That's cool. That's awesome. Fishy group for sure.
Yep.
So we're on the precipice, the doorstep of fall, and exciting things are happening. Got lots of fish moving around, lots of ducks starting to open up. So what are you doing to prepare for teal season? Just getting the duck property all ready, getting the tractors out,
What I'm doing to prepare is speaking at FWC meetings. I'm speaking at every meeting I can about Amendment 2. So I'm not doing anything to prepare.
The team
I've got a team out there working on it.
It's always good to have good people.
I got the best people. And I am going down tomorrow with them. We're taking the campers down because we set up a little camp for us to stay at.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're taking the campers down. We're checking levees. We're checking water levels. We're checking birds. We're checking food. The thing about teal is they're so barometer driven that any little fluctuation in it, they will move.
Mm-hmm. So you got to be ready.
Yeah, we've called clients before and been like, hey, there's no birds on Friday afternoon. There's no birds. Do you not want to come?
Mm-hmm.
No harm, no foul. If you come, though, we're charging you.
Mm-hmm.
And one time we had 20 people show up. We had 70 people cancel.
Mm-hmm.
All 20 of those people wrecked them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't see a duck yesterday. All day I was on the property, didn't see a duck.
And then
they showed up there in the middle of the night and they crushed them.
Wow.
I'm talking 7:15. These guys were coming out of the impoundments and they were like, hey, can you come pick us up? Because they were done. So
whoa.
That's why it's hunting. That's why it's fishing, right? You can make the best laid plans. You can make an educated guess, but the only way to know is to go. You can't shoot them on the couch. You can't catch them on the couch.
Yeah. You got to have a bait in the water.
That's right. So we tell people that all the time that there's no such thing as a bad hunting trip or fishing trip. There's some bad catching days or shooting days.
Yeah, no such thing as bad fishing, but it can be bad catching.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah, with that old rule of thumb, it's there's never a bad day of fishing. It's always better than a good day at work.
That's right.
Except for if your job is fishing.
Yeah,
that's what I always like to add.
Yeah, and I'm sure you get it too. Oh, he put his favorite clients in such and such a place, or he did this.
Dude,
gosh, that's the worst.
My favorite bad review that we get often Unfortunately, I wouldn't say we get it often, but you get it often enough to be angry about it.
You're familiar with it.
Is the bad review that says, well, I went fishing on this day and the captain put his friends at the front of the boat on the fish all day, or the captain put his friends at the back of the boat, or the captain put his friends on the right side of the boat on the fish. I've had the comment every different which way. If we were good enough to put one little small section of the boat on the fish all day long and not the rest of the boat,
You think we are way better than we are.
We would stop fishing.
You think we are way better than we are.
Yeah.
We almost went to a random blind assignment draw.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason we didn't is we have a couple of blinds that like are easier for an older person to get into, or easier for like we have pregnant women, like they're all of our blinds, like we don't have all handicap accessible blinds or anything like that. So there's certain blinds we can't just put into the random draw, because if we have somebody show up that needs those supports or those so people will sometimes get mad. They're like, you should have put us over there instead of those guys. Those are your friends. I'm like, dude, those guys emailed me on the internet like 3 weeks ago. Like, I honestly thought I was putting you in the blind I would have sat in, but I put them there because it was easier, like facilitating getting them in and out. Yeah, they wrecked them.
A random draw would make it easier, because then people couldn't say that.
Exactly, but then you couldn't mitigate for those 4 or 5 spots we have so you'd have to take them out of the random draw. And there's times we want to use them.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't need them for people, there's times those might be the best blinds. So we make an educated guess every time, just like the boats do and everything else. Like
that's all you can do.
Yeah, you're making an educated guess.
So we've got Captain Jim Fogel on the line with our safe boating tip of the week, brought to you by Innovative Pools and Spa. It's good to hear from you, Captain Jim. I was literally just thinking about him. I was like, if I don't hear from him again this week, I'm gonna have to call him. I was getting worried.
Hey, Captain Jim.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, last week I was up there in Apalachicola.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear it was something positive.
Oh yeah. And today I just slept in accidentally. But anyway,
good for you, man.
I made it.
You made it.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of days ago, I want to report a good thing here. A couple of days ago, Coast Guard and Pinellas County deputies rescued 2 adults in a 26-foot boat 18 miles off Pass-a-Grille. Thankfully,
wow,
they had a personal locator beacon. They were both wearing their life jackets, even though the boat is partially submerged. They were hanging on, and everything came out all right.
That's good news.
And it was, it's a great thing. It's another issue for the PLBs. Those personal locator beacons will save your bacon.
Amen to that.
So, if you still haven't gotten one, you're still going offshore, you're going out at night, please consider buying one. They've saved many, many, many lives, and will continue to do so. Now, we did lose a gentleman that was sailing from Marco up to, I think, Blind Pass or
John's Pass.
John's Pass.
Yes, sir.
And they found his boat, but I do not think they found him.
No, he hasn't been found yet, but they recovered his boat, I think, yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Sad situation.
Yeah, it was indeed. So, if you're going out, be prepared. Even if you're going out for a couple of hours into the Gulf, I've heard some great stories of people that were, just going from John's Pass to Tierra Verde or somewhere, ended up spending 4 hours out.
Yeah, and that guy you were talking about where they found his boat and didn't recover him yet, he is a very experienced commercial fisherman. I don't know him well. I just know his friends and his buddies, and I've seen a lot of the stories posted to Facebook, but he's been in the commercial industry for decades, very salty, experienced captain, and he was cruising from Marco to John's Pass along the beach. So it's not even like he was offshore.
Yeah.
Like he was supposed to be traveling within sight of shore.
Right.
And something happened, and we still haven't figured out what. But that's a sad situation, and it's a great example of what you're saying. Even if you're just going cruising for the day, you still got to be prepared for the worst possible situation.
Afraid so. Okay, guys, thanks for the time. Thanks for what you guys are doing for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete. Jim Fogel, be safe out there.
Thank you, Captain
Appreciate
Jim.
you, Captain Jim.
Good to hear from you again, buddy. Always a pleasure to have our safe boating tip of the week brought to you by our friends over at Innovative Pools and Spa. Innovative Pools and Spa bring you 35 years of experience building pools in the Tampa Bay area. They are continuing the legacy of their father's company, which was recognized as a top pool builder in the Tampa Bay area. Plus, they are continuing to raise the bar in pool construction, design, and features. They have an unparalleled passion for the industry and an unwavering dedication to excellence, driving them to uphold the highest standards in pool construction and integrity. Call them today at 727-788-1650 or visit them online at innovativepoolsandspa.net for a free estimate to see why Innovative Pools and Spa is a top choice for families in our community. Good people over there for sure, and great safe boating tip of the week. It's important to be prepared out there.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, like, being the top-rated pool company in Tampa Bay, that's like nothing to sneeze at. Like, so there's a lot of pool manufacturers in this area. It's not like being the top-rated pool company in Omaha.
Yeah, you're top of your game if you're top in Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. But no, you're exactly right. I was glad to hear Captain Jim. I was like, he usually calls it a little earlier.
Yeah, right after 7.
And I was like, maybe he's not calling in
He
today.
didn't call last week, and then I just was thinking about it while we were on air. I was like, I haven't heard from Captain Jim again. I was like, I got to call him on the way
check
home.
in. Like,
yeah, make sure he's okay.
He's doing such a good thing because, sometimes it's like safe boating tips. They could almost get repetitive because it's like, be safe, take these precautions. But we have to hear them because every time you hear about a tragedy almost, someone didn't do the thing that has been talked about
and it's always
82 times.
It's so sad because it's always a bunch of small things. Like when you get your captain's license, a majority of the captain's license school is going over these
safety,
these issues that have occurred in the past of these tragic, fatal incidences. And it's always something small that's led to different disasters. And it's always like a bunch of little small dominoes. And when disaster strikes, those dominoes start to fall. And once that starts to happen, it's hard to stop that flow unless you're prepared, unless you've drilled, unless you've thought through it. And if you're not doing that mental preparation and physical preparation for that instant, you're gonna be out of luck, up a creek without a paddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like anything else. Got to train, got to practice, got to think ahead.
You got that right.
Amen. Got to be prepared. Be prepared for the worst in all situations. But Bartow Ford, Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back. We got another short segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
Morning, Pops. Have Mark join in the chat. Any update on whose traps got emptied at the pass by that idiot tourist? No.
I
update.
saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, it wasn't our traps. Our traps ended up nearly on the beach, though.
Why were they emptying them?
Because they didn't know what they were doing. Yeah, essentially Hurricane Francine went into New Orleans, Louisiana area, and I think the whole west coast of Florida kind of got taken aback by the swell that we got from that storm. All night long, we got really bad swells into the pass, and the boats were bouncing a lot Thursday morning. It was crazy. Like at the dock, it was like we had Hurricane Francine cruising up our coast, and that thing was already in I don't know.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Almost, yeah.
It was in Georgia. It had way past us, and we were getting serious swells, and we had some damage in the past because of the swell. So it was impressive. And even into Friday, that swell was still happening. And it was pretty intense, for sure. You got to be prepared, for sure. But that's what I was talking about. I lost my train of thought. So those traps got washed ashore for that reason. Our bait guy put out all the traps Thursday because Friday we had a 44-hour trip leaving at 10 a.m. We had a 12-hour extreme trip, so we needed a bunch of pinfish Friday morning, like 180 dozen pinfish. So he's fishing hard for him Thursday, put out all his traps, and then those swells came. He couldn't go get his traps because, offshore it was gorgeous.
Right.
If you made it past the sea buoy, you were a mile or two out, it was beautiful, flat calm because they were just huge swells. But on the beach, it was messed up because those swells came in, hit that shallow water. Yeah, the pass was treacherous. So all his traps walked because of those big swells. They walked from 2 or 3 miles off the beach to inside the swim buoys. And now they're in the trough in these 3-foot breakers.
So you can't get through them.
Yeah, it was a big challenge. And that's what happened on Madeira Beach. All those pinfish traps ended up on the beach, and the tourists dragged them to the beach, emptied them, released all the pinfish, and then left the traps on the beach. So crazy. Which is a felony, by the way.
Bet you that person does not vote yes on two.
I bet you
Not
they
that
are
they
not
live
a
here.
Florida resident. So they couldn't vote yes on
I'll
two.
probably try to.
Mm-hmm.
We have sometimes we'll hunt like big water, like salt water, in the ducks. The decoys will walk like that.
Yeah. Walking, you don't have enough line out.
Yeah.
It's a challenge because if you have enough line to stop them from walking, then there's too big of a station, and that buoy can be moving around too much.
Yep.
You know? It's a challenge.
What were you laughing at? Was there something?
Angel said anybody who touches someone else's property is a jackwagon, and they deserve that jackwagon throw punch.
Could not agree more.
It's funny. Jackwagon throat punch. That's a Capt. Mike Andersonism, if I've ever heard one.
I'm a big fan of the throat punch. I did not know the term jackwagon until I started listening to you guys. But I'm here for it.
That's us. Ooh, like the music choice this morning. We're back, Bartow Ford
Real Animals Radio. Captain Dylan Hubbard here from Hubbard's Marina, and Captain Travis Thompson from allfla.org, duck ranching, and so much more. Yes on two, big one.
Sure.
Yeah, we're all in, and we're excited. We got our FWC commission meeting coming up this week in the Keys, Duck Key to be specific. So we're going to both be there talking about fishing with the FWC commissioners and anybody who will listen about Yes on 2. Supporting our Yes on 2 hats, gear, and yard signs going out this week. So
absolutely.
Exciting week for sure.
I got a friend in the Keys. I'm taking her 20 yard signs.
Very cool.
So they'll be popping up down there.
Yeah, the Keys is a hotbed for Yes on 2 with a lot of support. So
absolutely.
Hopefully we can get more of those throughout our state. It is hugely important. Coming up on the ballot November 5th, Amendment 2, we need your vote, yes. And we need you to tell your friends, family, and anybody who will listen to vote yes on 2, because a lot of confusion is surrounding it. There's a big disinformation campaign. People are claiming that it's going to allow the GillNet ban to be removed, which is a false rumor. People are saying that it's going to allow trespassing on private land, which is a false rumor. It doesn't affect the GillNet. It doesn't allow for trespassing. It's not going to allow for some open killing and slaying. Literally, the opposition, one of the quotes from the opposition is, our natural resources have seen enough carnage, all-out carnage over the last few years, and we're facing an epidemic climate crisis, and there needs to be a break. Vote no on 2 is literally one of the top arguments on the Ballotpedia page, which to me is comical. And the main guy
is
behind
trying
no
to
on
grow lab-grown, like he owned a company, like this was an idea.
He supports.
From 2002 to 2022.
He owned a company.
He owned a company that was aimed at growing meat in a laboratory.
Hydroponic meat.
Like, you couldn't make this. Someone told me yesterday it sounds like an Onion article. I was like, it does, because it's so absurd.
And the main person for vote no on 2 in St. Pete, like their captain who's passing out yard signs, their email is, I am meatless, are you?
Yeah. So we put together, if you go to our social media, allfla.org, we have fact and myth sheets. What's different between ours and theirs is ours, and we're not the opposition. Like, this isn't Yes on 2 putting this out. This is all Florida, because I'm sick of seeing this BS out there.
Yeah.
What's different there is we actually cite case law. We're not citing opinions. We're citing, like, if you want to get in the weeds on this and go read about it, like, here's where you could go find out why this doesn't do what is being said it does. Anyway, it's remarkable how a faction with such an agenda could get some traction online. And then you see people start to parrot those talking points because they're believing it from people that have no idea. So the other place you can go is you can go to allfla.org, and I'm going to give you 2 links specifically. One is /R2FH.
Yep.
The other is /A2.
Nice.
On the A2 one, we have those same slides there with a little bit more in-depth explanation on each one of them.
That's awesome. Definitely helpful. And we're dropping into the chat on our live streams, the donation link. One real important thing that they need from a political standpoint is just to see a donation support. Even if you're donating $1, it shows that there's donators, people that support the amendment enough to go in and spend money. And that helps to raise more donations, and it also helps to show the opposition that, hey, maybe I shouldn't invest in the opposition because the vote yes people are getting so many donations from grassroots efforts.
Yep.
So it will stop donations on the other side. It will help donations on the pro yes on 2 side, and it helps to drive that message home.
And
so even if it's $1,
that's the money that ends up getting used for flyers, ads, stuff like that too, which is, we can all hate the game that has to be played, but also it's the game that has to be played. Like,
yeah.
That's not the time to draw that line in that sand, but like,
you can hate it, but this is the way it's played.
Yep, it's exactly where it is. So
yeah, amen to that. So beautiful weather coming up. Great week of weather. We got a full moon Wednesday. Should be great fishing this weekend. Backside of a low pressure, that barometer should be moving. We got that full moon coming, so water should be moving. Great weather, great fishing. A lot of those transitions are happening. Mackerel and kingfish should be starting up here very soon. We got redfish concentrating. We got sheep's head coming back. We're seeing a lot of action on the snook moving from the beaches and passes to the back and upper bay waters. Near shore, we should see the hogfish bites start to pick up. Offshore, we're seeing a really good bite of those big amberjacks, some solid yellowtails, mangroves. Lots of fish to catch. Lighter loads this time of year, too, so less people out there on the water. It is a good opportunity. Teal duck hunting season is coming up, so book your duck hunting today with Duck Ranchin', no G, and you can get with Travis and his awesome team for a duck hunting adventure.
Absolutely, man. Love to have you. Show you some cool Florida.
Yes, sir. Real Florida, not I-4 Florida, like Bobby said.
Yeah, not the wild stuff that Bobby sees on I-4. We'll show you like actual wild Florida.
This weather update was brought to you by our friends over at Reese Windows and Doors. They are Florida's leading window and door company with over 50 years in business. They offer free installation on most windows and doors, and they install in just 6 weeks. They offer no freelance contractors, just in-house installers, and their warranty comes with a lifetime warranty that transfers to the new owners, which adds value to your home. Visit reesewindows.com for more info. Check out allfla.org to get with Travis or at Travis Thompson, right, on social media.
Yep, absolutely.
And Duck Ranchin' as well, really good Instagram account there. Check out hubbardsmarina.com, Hubbard's Marina, and Real Animals. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, 7 to 9 a.m. for Real Animals Sunday. Tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. for the Hubbard's Marina live stream show. You want a chance to win $1,500 in free stuff tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. during that live stream show on the Hubbard's Marina and Real Animals Facebook. We'll see you there. And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Right, Travis?
That's right.
Yeah, like every break was like a minute earlier than it normally is. Must be all scheduled.
It's a day link changes.
Maybe. Photo period.
Photo period is affecting
The radio
the
schedule.
production.
Well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us today. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Same time, same bad channel right here on the Hubbard's Marina and Real Animals Facebook pages. And hopefully we'll see you out in the water. Take advantage of these lighter loads, great fishing, so much to catch, and there's less people doing it. I mean, this week we've got 10-hour trips. I think during the week we're averaging like 15, 20 people. It is a super, super good time to get out there on the water. And then, so we've got 20 people on Tuesday's 10-hour trip. Half-day trips during the week are running with like 18, 20, 25 people. Weekends are still a little busier, but not crazy busy. And then 39-hour trips get super light. This Friday, September 20th, only 25 people going. You got tons of fish to keep. Next Friday after that, September 27th, only 19 people. So this is that time of year where you got tons of room around the boat, tons of fish to catch, and amberjack are still open. It is a good time to get out there. And the redfish bite's going off inshore. So lots of stuff to do, see, and catch. Hopefully you get out there on the water or join Travis for some woods exploring. Hopefully you avoid the leeches that make you allergic to red meat, though.
And no matter what, make sure you're registered to vote. You get till October 7th if you're not. And make sure you're getting out there voting yes on 2. Absentee ballots mail out September 26th.
There you go.
So that's 2 weeks from yesterday, I think, is when absentee ballots mail out. So you guys need to be talking about it, telling your people, vote yes on 2. And then after you've done that, that's all free.
Mm-hmm.
Book a trip because you saved all this money.
There you go.
Doing something good for conservation.
There it is. Donate $1 or $2 to the Vote Yes on 2 campaign, too. That'll do a lot to help show support. So check it out. The links are in the chat below. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, y'all.